Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we're seeing. So let's get straight into this topic here. So as you guys know, we recently did a show with featuring some comments that Ric Bucher made, where he was essentially exposing all of the narratives that were being propagated by the Lebron camp. As you guys know, since last year, the Lakers made it clear that they didn't want the services of LeBron James. Since last year. We all knew this. We all knew that LeBron was on his last year of his contract. Everyone knew this, right? When the Lakers had an opportunity to extend him, they said no. But now, all of a sudden, now that his contract has expired and they went off and gave Austin Reeves money and they started making other moves, they wanted to now twist it and make it seem like, oh, well, LeBron is the one that left the Lakers. Not them that said goodbye. And they have just been on this long campaign of lies. But one of the people that called it out was Ric Bucher. And we did a show on it. And one of the biggest LeBron James zealots out there, Shannon Sharpe, went after Ric Bucher viciously for daring to talk about his boo thing, LeBron James. Take a look at the original rant on a Nightcap.
Acquired Luka, and he finds it funny his exit was framed as LeBron telling the Lakers he was leaving. Wow, Rick, you're breaking news.
Yeah.
I mean, that a way to go out on a limb. So let me ask you a question. If they didn't get Luka, we understand that LeBron does not have the same cachet at 41, almost 42 he had at 25.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Bucher. And Rick was on Undisputed. If they the same age, are they getting rid of LeBron?
Nope.
So you make it seem it's like any work employment. More times than not, what happens, Ocho? The younger guy takes the older guy's spot.
Yeah. It's always been that way.
That's just the way it is.
Always been that way. Sports, corporate world, business.
Nobody is under the impression that LeBron James, at almost 42 years of age, is the same player. He's not. I've never said that, and I've been one of his staunchest supporters. I know he's not. And Luka, it should be Luka's team. Everybody knew that. We knew that was what they wanted. They was hoping AD was going to be able to be that bridge, because when Kobe retired, as Kobe started getting hurt, and he ends up retiring, they didn't have a bridge. Because see, they had a bridge from Kareem to Magic. Because you think about how it worked out. They had West and they had Chamberlain. They had Elgin Baylor. And then they had Jerry West. And then they get Chamberlain. And then you get Kareem. And then you get Magic. And you get Worthy. And then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, here comes Shaq and Kobe. And Shaq leaving. You still got Kobe. And you got Powell. And then they didn't have anything to fill that gap in. And then you got LeBron. And they say, you know what? We got LeBron for several years. But now we got AD. And AD will be the bridge. AD couldn't stay healthy. So now it's like we really need somebody. The Lakers, you gotta have a star. That's the only way it works in LA. You gotta have a star. They've always had it. It's Tinseltown. So now they have their star for the next, if he can stay healthy, for the next 7-10 years.
He got some pressure on his ass.
I can't blame him. Who faulting the Lakers for the decision that they made? I want to know who in their right mind faulting the Lakers. Nobody. But him going out of this notion ever since they acquired. Wow. You know what, Ocho?
Yeah.
Shannon had planned on retiring ever since he won the lottery. No ish. Of course. You win $500 million. Yeah. Ever since he won the lottery, he planned on retiring. Yep, you're absolutely right. I did. So look, he's never been a LeBron fan, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I think, to go out here and try to frame it like this, he just tell them, I'm not coming back. They knew that. They had offered him something. Look, I don't know in the sense now that LeBron would take, minimum, whatever the case may be. LeBron knew there was not he knew there was not 30, 40, $50 million out there for him. Best case scenario, you're talking about maybe 15, maybe somebody could give you 20, maybe. But if you get 20, you're not going to be able to go anywhere and win. But the most was 15. That's max.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that.
You think he knew that?
Yes. Now, he probably could go somewhere, a Sacramento, and get big bucks. But that's just a ticket draw. You're not finna win.
The only reason why I say that because when I think about LeBron, Uncle Ocho, I really don't think he thinks it's a player out there that's better than him or more cerebral than him, more important than him if you add him to it.
There's not. But you don't get to determine your value. Somebody else does.
Yes.
So when people keep saying, "Oh, I know my value," your values are based on what someone is willing to pay for it.
Yeah, and most of the time, the value that.
So you saw that there. So I thought that was that. And Ric Bucher doesn't release shows every single day. But yesterday I saw on the basketball show that he said Ric Bucher doubled down. I'm like, really? Ric Bucher actually responded to these guys? Like, really? He did? Now, if you know anything about Rick, he's a very well thought out, measured guy. And when he makes his points, he does it better pretty much than anybody because he really, really fleshes out his ideas. And in this sound that we're about to play, he basically explains why this entire thing is one big charade. And he goes through the reasons why in terms of, because now the thing is about these teams are recruiting LeBron, where he's like, no, you guys are pitching LeBron to teams. And he uses the specific case of the Philadelphia 76ers, and man, he blows this thing wide open. Like, it's really, really bad. But before we even get into his comments, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. It's a scorching sports summer, and you can make all your picks on Prize Picks. Women's basketball and baseball are heating up, and with big tennis slams and major golf tournaments on the horizon, you can make your picks for all these events and more all summer long on Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. I think I'm going to get into soccer this summer with Prize Picks. They're offering everything from group stage winners to goals scored, and I'm excited to watch the big stars from countries like Argentina, Brazil, France, and the US and win money while doing it. What's cool is that I can stack game winners from soccer, NBA, women's basketball, and baseball on top of my player picks for even bigger payouts. And Prize Picks is available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. The entire summer of soccer is on Prize Picks, all 48 countries and every matchup. And if you rep your side during the tournament on Prize Picks, you could win a trip to the final in New York. It's the biggest tournament ever, which means there's even more opportunities to cash in while you root for your favorite national sides and global soccer stars. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA. All right, perfect. So what we want to do now is want to play what Ric Bucher had to say in response to Shannon Sharpe and all of these guys, and we'll come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to that.
All right, I wouldn't come back to this if there weren't so much reaction in my previous episode and my assessment of LeBron James' value as a free agent at 41 years of age. Most of you saw it as a common sense view, not requiring particularly unique insight, but simply reading the circumstances and situation. Others, mostly LeBron fans, I'm guessing, quickly pointed to the greaseboard tutorial his agent, Rich Paul, gave on his podcast to make it seem as if LeBron were still a hot commodity. Or ESPN saying LeBron is sifting through his choices, as if he has an array of options. One of those choices, according to Rich and ESPN, was Philadelphia. Or is Philadelphia. Rich going on about how attractive they are with the addition of Jaylen Brown, almost insinuating that the Sixers went and got Brown to enhance their chance of landing LeBron. And how much LeBron could do mentoring VJ Edgecombe and teaching Joel Embiid about his health and fitness habits, how much LeBron loves his fellow clutch client, Tyrese Maxey, and how obviously LeBron could provide the Sixers with an element they desperately need as far as leadership and postseason experience. It was practically an infomercial or a live pitch to the Sixers and their fans. Did LeBron's representation make public pleas back in 2010 about how perfect he would be for a variety of teams? No. Teams were putting together elaborate presentations to make to LeBron as to why he should join them. None of that is going on here. Rich is pitching his client to teams. Teams are not pitching why LeBron should join them. Yet every media outlet parroted Rich's remarks as if they were gospel. Except that the Sixers used their mid-level exception to sign Dean Wade and had to get creative to sign Anthony Simons to a 2-year, $12 million deal, leaving them with 2 roster spots and only minimum contracts to fill them. If it was indeed LeBron choosing where to go, and the Sixers were one of the teams hoping to be chosen, don't you think they'd leave themselves options to offer something more than the last 2 roster spots and a minimum contract? It sounds like, at best, a take-it-or-leave-it scenario. Would they shoehorn LeBron and Bronny to fill the last 2 spots? If that's your idea of everybody wants him, it's going to be LeBron's choice where he goes, have at it. Does he still have value? Absolutely, especially if he's willing to sign a minimum contract. But this is what doesn't jibe with the idea that everybody wants him. Nobody is trying to create an unbeatable offer, and they're moving on to other options to fill their rosters while they wait. There's a difference between, we'd take him on a minimum, gladly, and, God, we hope our offer is good enough to get him. If there's any market for him, it's the former. Rich Paul is trying to give the impression it's the latter. If he was viewed as vital to next season's success, why the hell would the Sixers be signing Simons and Wade and eliminate any chance of giving LeBron anything more than the minimum? Or do they consider Wade and Simons more important? As I said in the last episode, the Cavs make the most sense as far as a team that LeBron can make better, but it's also where he still will be revered. Am I to believe that Wade and Simons are actually more important than LeBron to winning or their success? That's what the Sixers' moves are suggesting. As I said in the last episode, the Cavs make the most sense as far as a team LeBron can make better. It's also where he would still be revered. If Lakers fans don't feel he qualifies as an all-time Laker great, and plenty have said exactly that, watch what happens if he's not everything Sixers fans expect him to be. Philly fans are far more merciless, far more easily than Lakers fans. LeBron has to know that. And while Pat Riley might forgive LeBron for bolting to Cleveland without notice, I don't know if all Heat Nation would. Again, especially since they're getting a far different version of LeBron than the last one they saw.
So you heard what Rick had to say. I never went that in depth with it when he was talking about the cap space. He said if the Philadelphia 76ers were so keen to sign LeBron James, why in the hell then did they use up pretty much all of their cap space, even the mid-level exception? They use all of it up. And now he's only left with veteran minimum money. And they have 2 roster spots left. If he was as coveted as these guys are trying to make it seem, then why is he like the last option on the team? That is a very, very, very good point. If he were to give the Sixers such a major premium, why isn't he getting premium dollars? Because obviously that reflects what the organization believes you can do. Now, it may be that they still believe that LeBron can add a lot of value, but they're certainly not willing to pay for it. And that's what Ric Bucher's pointing out. He's saying you guys are saying these teams are pitching LeBron and they're running after LeBron James when the evidence suggests otherwise. The evidence suggests that you guys are the ones running after him, and they're already making moves. They're already making moves. And the reason they don't like Ric Bucher and they have to silence him is because he has a voice that has credibility. He is a credible voice. Me, nobody gives a damn about me because I've never been on TV. But people like him, they go after quickly, swiftly. That's why you see the entire machine collapsing on Ric Bucher. But unfortunately, it's not going to work because, number one, he has done all his research, and number two, he has a lot of credibility, and they can't shoot holes in it.